so this is the third part, and we're just going to take a look at the panel styling here and this little ribbon, all very basic, and it looks like they're reusing much of the styling that we've created previously. So yeah, we'll jump straight into it. At this point, I'm not really like paying too much attention to the pixel size of everything, but I do know this is a 1920 by 1080, so we should be roughly sort of close in terms of weights and stuff like that, so it should be okay. And as you can sort of see on the orange example here, we are reusing the same styling as what we've created here, so we can just go ahead, select that as the base, and then just adjust that scale there. There we go. Maybe bring it in. We'll pop a radius on it, and we'll go for 4. It's looking good. We shall select a color, so press I, and let's say that color is the neutral color. It could very well be very similar to that. In fact, it probably would be, because this panel is tappable, so they would want the same sort of like, sort of visual logic in terms of coloring and things like that. Cool, so like we did with the highlights, we're going to treat these panels roughly the same. So this will be the heading bar, and we're just going to drag that into place, or out of place, and we'll do the same down here, but actually let's just create the style first. Shift select the color. You can sort of see, like, as we're going through this, a lot of the process is much of the same with UI, and when you're creating these consistent kits and stuff like that, you find you're repeating, your scenery, sort of, so to speak. So it's like, if you figure out shortcuts along the way, by all means, start to include them. So symbols is a good way, and sort of setting up your swatches and color palettes beforehand, probably a good way. And we shall try and select that color for the stroke. It should be slightly darker. There you go. And it looks like it's probably about 2 pixels. It's looking good. I'm just going to drag this down. Nice. And yeah, we need to create a mask. So if we select this and then Control C, Control Shift V, paste in place. And right click once you've selected what you need and create your mask. There you go. Looking tidy. Now we've got like a nice gradient glow. So we can actually just go ahead and turn this into a gradient. So if we open up this, select radius, I'll probably, yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll select the core and select the other stopper, and there you go. And you're just going to tweak this to get what you want, really. So yeah, we're just going to adjust the circle there so it's not perfectly round. I'm gonna drag these handles just to get something closer to sort of what we can see. There we go. Something like that could work quite well. Not too bad. Yeah, it looks alright. And if we select our base, we should see. We're going to duplicate this again. I'm going to do a drop shadow. Pop that down to 50. Let's just, there you go, something like that. Looks quite nice. And that's essentially the panel. So, I mean, it's light work, isn't it? It's not too heavy. We'll group that, and we shall not hop into transparency, but we'll create a symbol out of it. Enable your slicing. So panel main, why not? Or panel base, there you go. Cool. Hop in to just check that slicing. So you might want to clear this so it's always fixed and the slicing happens between these spaces, or you might want it even longer for, you know, the top and bottom bar there. We'll clear that, and we're clearing the radius, so it should all behave as expected. Yeah, it does. Cool. So regardless of how, you know, big you make that vertically, this bar will always remain the same height, which is just a nice consistency thing, I think. It's cool. And we'll hop over to our graphic stars. If you remember, we created a free distort. So yeah, we dragged that over, didn't we? And you know, you can do the same. I thought you'd be able to drag it in, but you can't. And if we apply that, cool. So yeah, the next step would be to just quickly flesh things out, really. So level 5 pack. Cool. It looks like it's hard to tell. I know it's not all uppercase, so it's something to think about. My caps lock is off, and I don't think I've got any special. Yeah, I'm not forcing uppercase, so I think it's just my font here, really. But yeah, it's something to think about. You know, if you're matching exactly what they have, if your font doesn't support, you know, uppercase, lowercase, etc., you'll yeah, you won't be able to match it like for like. You could probably like hack it, but there's no point, really. Cool. So we'll duplicate this. The alignment aspect is obviously everything's shifting off. So we're aligning, it appears, to the width either side of it, not to like the vertical center there. And so for this, we can obviously just remove all of the styling. There you go. I'm gonna bring this down. This offer is a one-time purchase. Must be a good one. There we go. Put that in place. Yeah, this font is definitely not right. Quite like it though, it's quite a nice font. Yeah, looking good. Yeah, so as you're working on your own UI and you're playing with the fonts and stuff like that, and you're trying to get a nice balance between headings, subheadings, and, you know, body text and stuff like that, you're trying to build your design system. You're going to be playing about and sort of wiggling, you know, your tracking, your leading, and all that type of stuff at your line height. And it's okay to sort of, yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect straight away. You're sort of working through the ideas here, and you know, sort of trying to absolutely nail, you know, the tracking at this point. Yeah, probably not something you need to do. Just get the right vibe, and then you can introduce the stricter rules of the design system. So, you know, everything deriving from like the body, font size and stuff like that. And yeah, there's a website that I use called Typescale, and this is really handy because if you know what your base size is going to be and you want to create a design system, input your base size, select the scale factor, and I think usually it's major third here by default. Minor third's quite nice as well, but what it does is, this is particularly helpful if you're building websites. You have your base style, which is 1 rem, 16 pixels, so that's your base, and then everything is a scale factor of that. So you have 16, and then because it's 1.25, you multiply it by 1.25, and that gets you your next increment. And it's really interesting how it does it. And you start to build, as it says, a visual type scale. And you can imagine a scenario where you've got your sort of your headings, and they heading 1, 2, 3, etc., stuff like that. So you get that nice visual hierarchy. So it helps sort of like with screen flow, like when reading and stuff like that. And yeah, Typescale, I encourage you to check it out. Cool, so same process would apply to this up here. This is just like a little time remaining tab really, isn't it? And we'll select our color, it's been skewed, and let's put a little radius on there. There we go. Something like that. If that's feeling a little bit too extreme, just bring it in a little bit. Oops, seem to snap again. Bit fiddly. There we go. And this little highlight on the ribbon, or the ribbon itself, very easy to do. Create your rectangle. Just gonna bring it in. Add in another anchor point and dragging it in. It's all got a nice corner radius to it. There we go. And that's skewed again. There we go. Looking good. Shouldn't be white. Why is it white? Must have not hit apply. There we go. Something like that. And as we know, the styling is actually something we need to, it's got like a little shadow and stuff like that, so we'll need to do that. It's got the stroke, so let's drag that over. Make it 2 pixels, and looking good. Make sure the correct layer is selected. I think like with the last time, let's just all mask it. There we go, remove the stroke there, and we'll do the little highlight across the top. There we go, that's going to inherit the same styling as what's there. Looks like there might be a little bit of an overlay effect or something. Do this for now. So paste in place, select your objects, mask. Yeah, there's definitely something. So if we do a bit of an overlay, is it? It could be a dodge actually. A low dodge. There we go. Yeah, that's just lifting it, isn't it? Cool. Select the stroke and make sure it's outside. It's not. There we go. Looking good. Obviously, a bit of weirdness. It's not skewing in the same way. So if we apply that, we roughly get what we were hoping for, I think. I'm just going to duplicate the base color, turn it black, and I'm going to go to Effect. I'm just going to transform it just so we can get that little shadow offset there. Cool, looking good. What do you reckon? Grouping that, and then I'm just going to scale it down together. So everything's grouped. We'll create a symbol out of it. Slice it. So offer ribbon. There we go. Call it offer ribbon. Okay, cool. So something to think about. This is quite a long highlight, so we just want to pull the guide so it clears that highlight there, and that's going to allow us to scale it as much as we want now. If we've got a bigger string or something like that, you know, sometimes when you're working with a team, you know, and the game designer, for example, wants something written in there, we're not always lucky in that it's just says new. Sometimes they want an entire sentence in the tiniest space, and when that happens, they also want it localized. Now, you localize anything from English into something like French or Russian or Spanish. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare to fit these sentences in sometimes. So something to think about. But I don't recommend putting sentences in offer banners like this. I'm actually just going to hit save because of my crash earlier, and I'm going to hop into this because this is where it crashed. It was really weird. Let's just zoom right in. I'm just going to shift that up, and there we go. All is well. That's looking kind of cool. Just going to reduce that a little bit, and I'm going to drop that down to looking nice. So in 3 days we have to buy this offer, or 3 days and 23 hours. We have to make sure we come back and get this offer. Because as you know, free to play, if you don't spend your money, it's going to take you absolutely ages to get the equivalent. So sometimes it's better to spend a couple of quid to free up the time so you can go outside for a walk and enjoy the weather. Nice. Looking good. So yeah, I think that probably concludes this part of the video. So guys, please give the video a thumbs up, and obviously subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.